Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to my channel where we are listening to new album releases as well as metal albums throughout the month of March. So if you're interested in that, check out my Metal March series. But today, we are not doing a metal album. In fact, we are doing a much more sad, more melancholic album that has been getting some pretty rave reviews, and I was keeping an eye out, and it seems like this is one that is definitely worth the listen. That is Bright Future by Adrianne Lenker. And if you're unaware who she is the main lead vocalist and songwriter for the band Big Thief, who released an album, Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You, back in 2022 that I remember got rave reviews that, again, I've never personally checked out. That being said, I was interested in this album because I did hear one of the songs from here when it was released. I believe it was the second track here, Sadness as a Gift. And I thought, even though I haven't heard that in a while, I thought we would go ahead and listen to the whole album because it seems like it might be something up my alley. And even if it's not, it seems to be making waves that definitely makes it worth checking out. With 43 minutes and 12 tracks, it's pretty brief or average listen, I guess, average runtime for an album. So let's just jump in with Real House. I'm excited to hear a much more softer tone after the metal albums we've been listening to as of late. Kicking off with a just gentle piano. I like how you can hear the movement of who I would imagine to be Adrianne.
Purity of the air around.
Very gentle vocalist. Kind of Joni Mitchell-esque. A good use of space in the sound.
Like tears on the night's face, with cool wind.
Beautiful songwriting as well. Very poetic.
And your love is all I want.
Getting chills. This one is hitting me over the head right now.
Find it.
Very nostalgic.
I wanted to be an inventor.
Story-rich track.
To be real.
Very well produced piano work too. Very vulnerable track.
And the whole family came back together. We held her body as they put the needle in her. And then I saw you cry. And then I saw you cry.
Jesus. Oh, wow. That is, that is a heavy track. This last passage just really hit me. The passing of an animal. Carrying on, we'll go into Sadness as a Gift. That's the next one here. That was heavy. Sadness as a Gift. That first track is a heavy one. Really just kicking it off strong, aren't we here? I like the more country tone of this one. Try to shift things back, shall we? I love the wavery tone that she sings in. It's very Joni Mitchell-esque. It's a nice throwback tone. I love those strings too that swell up here. Really leaning into that country tone. It's got a nice multi-instrumentalist tone. Still thinking about that first track as this one plays, but this one's beautiful though. An easier listen so far. That piano work too, it's so gentle and just has a nice warm, lighthearted tone to it. I think a track about lost love, maybe searching for a first love after time's passed. Beautiful track, great instrumental, very nice country tone as well, but nice folk tone as well too. It all comes together. Next we got Fool. Thank God we can make it through that one. Real House was a bit too long one, but it was nice. Nice. I really like the more the effect on that piano, or sorry, the effect on the guitar, I meant to say, has a nice kind of like vibrato tone to it. I think this was the track I actually heard a while ago. My bad. But I do like it. I like this one quite a bit. Well, I like these like kind of futuristic tones as well, like that beeping. I imagine that's a guitar being kind of like fretted. A really solid spring album so far. It's got that nice sort of warm, almost like future forward-thinking tone, while it's still steeped in nostalgia. Kind of feels like we're on like a train ride, you know what I'm saying? To the next chapter in our life. That was Fool. I loved it. Here's No Machine. I thought Fool was nice and catchy, nice and sweet, candy to the ears. I like this backup singer, Phil Weinrobe. Really sweet love songs on this LP so far. That kind of feel old, kind of feel like they've always existed, but in a good way. It's got that early 70s songwriter tone to it. She's got a very old soul with her vocals. What a great line. To the ocean of your love, I am a river. Beautiful songwriting. And that's it for the No Machine. Fantastic track. Free Treasure is this one here. Ooh, references to the river again. Maybe there are some themes and lyrics that all tie together, or maybe it's a coincidence. There's a really nice, like, childlike innocence to the ethos of this album, it seems. Also reminds me of Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks. Nice homey feeling to this album too. So warm. I really love just the nostalgia dripped imagery throughout this album so far. Really adds to the very warm tones of the instrumentals. A nice folk country ballad as well. Next we're going to Vampire Empire. That's a tough one to say. Vampire Empire. The production of this one's much rougher. Her vocals are not as clean. I have a feeling that's a stylistic choice. Oh, good lyrics. I see you as you see yourself through all the books you read. Like, that's a very clever, well-written line. Love that. This is a solid, solid vocal performances and choice of escalation. Some of the production, like that piano, very clean, while the guitar work and the vocals very rough. Bit of a parallel there. Contrast. She does a great job writing lyrics about love and the need for another. Ooh. I like that little strip back moment there. Not sure how I feel about this one. On one hand, I really like the choice in production, the roughness of it, but on the other hand, that's also, I feel like maybe the drawback for me. But I'm sure that'll grow on me. Next, we got Evil for this one. I'm assuming it's supposed to be love spelled backwards, like that cringe Eminem line. Yep. Ugh. I don't like it in Eminem's song. I don't really like it here. But hopefully we can ignore that. Much darker piano work here. Some of the songwriting here is pretty nice, but some of these reverse lines a little, I don't know, cheesy, corny. The love spelled backwards one, I just can't get over that one. I think Eminem has tainted that regardless of position. That violin in the background. Love the cohesiveness of the instrumentals in this album. Nice strong identity to this like kind of country, folky piano album. Kiss spells sick. Vacuum feeding. I'm kind of losing it on kiss spells sick, the vacuum feeding. Do you not know what that means? Don't think it's supposed to be a backwards moment. Maybe I'm getting a little confused in the message of this track. Wasn't a huge fan of this one though. Lyrically, like I said, more corny and a little bit more cheesy than some of the other tracks so far. Not as cleverly written. I'll say that. But going into the next track here, we've got Candle Flame. 2.5 minutes. A lot of short tracks on here. Or at least some of the even longer ones, like that opening track was almost 6 minutes. But the pacing of it was pretty nice, pretty brief in its execution. Nice rusticness to this album. I love when you can hear the strings, the sliding of their hand on the strings. All right, not much to say about that. Just some nice, cute songwriting. Some nice, minimalist instrumental as well, which seems to be pretty consistent with the album. But the last few tracks have not wowed me as much as those first few tracks did. I love that harmonizing. I believe is that her on her own backup vocals? A bit of self-harmonizing maybe, which I'm always a fan of. I really like that. I think it's a banjo in the background there. Adds a lot of depth to that country, homeward feeling. I like that with like a shaker as well in the background there. It's such a subtle addition, but it gives a really clean warmth. Really love the restraint in her voice too. She never pushes it beyond what it's capable of. But she's able to reach, a height without pushing it. Really great dynamic instrumental. Minimalist, but not devoid of sound, that's for sure. Love that one. Love that one. Cell Phone Says is this next track here. This album, 43 minutes, does not feel like it. It has been a very brisk listen, maybe due to the lightheartedness of it. This is about a long distance relationship, perhaps? That or a loss of someone. Maybe mourning the loss of somebody. At least the references to angels and earthly burden, to me, implies reaching out to a lost, love or member who has maybe passed on to another side. Just when I think a track can't get any more gentle, Cell Phone Says, perhaps the most gentle one so far. Very stripped back, and I love that hiss of silence in the recording. Next, going into Donut Seam. Oh. A much more swelling vocal with the backup vocals there. Kind of reminds me of Sufjan Stevens.
And there you were exposing it, how I would lose my mind. To get lost on
I gotta pause this. I gotta say, lyrically, this has been, every line here really just hitting me. I love, ever since the day we met, I loved you and I don't regret the way we passed the time, drinking coffee, drinking wine. Just such a wholesome delivery of lines. Nick Hakem is the backup vocalist on this one. It's like the end of a relationship being compared to the end of the world. A final goodbye. A good breakup track. But man, this passage right here really hits hard, especially in the midst of a breakup. Seems like a breakup between two people who agree on it. So it's kind of a sadder one. The final track already. It's called Ruined. 4.5 minutes. What a brisk listen this has been. I did not believe it's been 40 minutes already. She sings with such emotion. Another good breakup track already, I could tell. Maybe seeing an ex that you're not over. I really love this line, this mantra. I'm wondering if this track's gonna swell up in the second half. Maybe have a grand finale. Oh, I like those gentle, angelic ahs in the background. You hear that piano ramping up. Oh. What is this instrumental? Oh. Borderline experimental. Like falling apart with her, maybe? What an interesting choice for the piano work. Nice, gentle, almost ambient outro. Beautiful track. Kind of a twisted piano in there, maybe kind of paralleling how she feels ruined, kind of falling apart alongside her. But what a brisk, beautiful listen this was. 12 tracks, 43 minutes, and it did not feel that way at all. It felt like maybe half hour at most for an album. Quite a well-paced album. is what I could definitely say right away is the pacing is brilliant throughout this thing. Maybe it's the minimalist nature, maybe it's the very, subtle and clean songwriting. Maybe all of it together kind of packs a nice swift punch, because there is a punch to some of these lines. They certainly hit hard without being overly blunt. But starting things off with Real House it was a harsh choice, because that one I feel like really ripped into me by the end. But as it went on, it got a little bit easier. Real House is definitely the most emotional I felt throughout this listen. My least favorite track was Evil, and I think Real House or Ruined or Vampire Empire or Donut Scene were my favorites. Those were ones that stood out. And Fool as well. A lot of great tracks is what I'm trying to say. Nothing too weak. I think Evil was, again, the weakness for me. The weakest, I should say. But Adrianne Lenker, Bright Future, great album is what I'm trying to say. And one that I'm definitely going to keep listening to throughout the year. And I feel like as time will go on, I feel like this will only get stronger. I'm sure this will make a year-end list. Quite a few year-end lists, I should say. Quite a few people, I think, will be putting this in their top 20 or so. Maybe top 10. Hey, probably some people's album of the year. Maybe too soon to say. That being said, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along and listening to more new album releases or some metal albums. We are doing Metal March right now. I know it's kind of a stylistic change from the album we just listened to today, but if you like metal, then follow for Metal March. Every month we're doing a different genre, and throughout the month of March, it is metal. We are also doing, of course, new album releases like this one. So subscribe if you're interested in seeing those reactions. But, as always, my name is Randy Joe, and I'm signing off.